to succeed. Don't let them kill your dream. Protect the vision that you see. Shine like the star.
Ready for new playlists personalized for you with new release mix, your mix, and discover mix.
Guni, please. I can hear. Let me get the volume. Hey, honey. Hi.
We have 3 minutes till we start.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, darling.
Okay. Okay. Let me just close this door. You look stunning, banana. I want to hide.
Do not
Can
hide,
you
my darling. You look gorgeous.
Can I hide? No.
You've got the lockdown glow.
No. Camille. I didn't get her and she tells me that I have it.
We're starting in 2 minutes. I'm giving you 2 minutes to settle down.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Oh, bathong. Hey. Yeah, ne? Yeah. I got to check on Leon. Yeah, dance. I was thinking. Wait. Oh, fine. Can I?
Hear
Yes,
your
I
song in the
do. Come
background.
on. I do. I can hear it.
That's awesome.
I can hear it.
It is exactly 7 o'clock. If you have just tuned in, my name is Melo Mtetwa, and I'm chatting to an amazing. She's an Afro-Soul singer and entertainer, and she's shared stages with the likes of Zonke, Nothende, and Kwela Tebza, just to name a few, as well as international acts Chrisette Michele and Chante Savage. Under her belt, she holds a SATMA Award, as well as Bean Music Award as Best Afro-Soul Artist. She goes by the name Choko. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
Hello.
Nice to finally meet you. For those who don't know,
I know it's.
you and I met
Let's
on
not even. I know, and we've had so many conversations afterwards, but we've never really met in person.
This is our first time actually having what I'll say is a face-to-face conversation. And it's been like we've been virtual friends for like about 5 years.
Yeah, it's been long, hey? Yes, actually, yes.
6 years.
4, 5 years.
5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? You know, so welcome, darling. And how is lockdown treating you?
Ooh, look, I can't complain at this stage. I think I sometimes feel like I'm getting used to being at home and being so locked down. But sometimes it kind of gets frustrating, I must say, especially with kids, having to be indoors so for such a long time. It's frustrating. But we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're managing well so far.
And just, the other day we were speaking and you said you were in studio. Is that how you've been occupying yourself during this time? Cooking up music?
Even now, even now, I was just in studio like a few minutes ago. So I just took a time to talk to you, and after this we'll be going back.
Thank you so much. And just what are some of the challenges as an artist that you've been facing during this time?
Obviously, there's no work. There's not much work to be done, other than you having to do something on your own, which comes at a cost, and there's no financial resources that are coming in. You know, you don't go to people who are going to bring something that you can work with. It's just you dipping into your pocket and making sure that stuff goes out. That's
and
that. I think that's the challenge for me.
for those who don't know, this amazing woman over here, ne? So her type of music, ha ke tsebe hore na ke Sesotho, a sfakanya ka Setswana, ha fetsa o itse ke eng a re beatinyana e monate mo a bitsa a re. What is the inspiration behind your amazing music?
It is love, absolutely love. I love talking about love. I love creating stories about love. I just write from a point of love because I don't believe that we can ever get enough of it. You know, I've got so many different stories that people relate to on that album, Lerato, that is titled Lerato. And you know, the basis of everything and every story that is literally in each and every track goes down to love.
Man, they say money makes the world go round. I really believe it is love that makes the world go round. And my favorite song
Absolutely.
actually on that album is Lerato. I've got your album over here.
It's everybody's favorite.
I don't
It's everybody's favorite.
Yes. All right. So now that we've got the introductions out of the way, as they say in some of these churches, let's go deeper, papa. But in this case, it's go deeper, mama. So as I mentioned earlier, you and I have been virtual friends for about 5 years. And you know, we've just been communicating from Twitter, tweeting each other to inbox, to WhatsApp, you know, and we just clicked and have just been maintaining this virtual friendship during this time. And over the 5 years that we've known each other, there was a time that I invited you to come and be a guest artist at my annual ladies tea event. You know, you agreed, you sent us your picture, we did the flyers and the posters and all the marketing. And when the event came, you did not pitch. And there was a very valid reason why you did not come through and honor your invite. You were going through something at the time. Can you just take us through that?
Okay. I could not honor your event, and I'm very sorry for that. I still am. Because I had just gone through a miscarriage. I had just lost a child. I was pregnant. I was not even aware of it. I did not know. It was back in 2017. This happened on the 5th of August, I think. Yes, the 5th of August. Woke up, normal day, and you know, as a woman, you know when you're on your period, you know, and I just thought it's just one of those normal periods. But as time went by, I realized that, you know what, the flow was slightly different. It was just a little bit more than what it's supposed to be or what it normally is. And I alerted my husband because I started feeling because of losing a lot of blood, I started feeling very, very, very weak. So I made him aware of that and was like, you know what, let's just monitor because we don't know what is causing this, you know. But something I could just feel it in my gut that something is not right, you know. And unless I started clotting a lot, I asked him that we rush to the hospital very quickly, which we did. We got there. They ran some tests, and then they booked me in. Later on, they confirmed that I had a miscarriage.
Sure.
It was so confusing, you know. It was so confusing at the time. I didn't really know how to take it in. Like I felt like I needed time to digest what they had just confirmed, you know, because I was not aware that I was. Later on, they took me into the theater, obviously, for the DNC procedure to clean the lining in my uterus after the loss of a child. So that was done, and they kept me overnight because I had lost a lot of blood and I was weak, so they wanted to monitor that. Whew, I think it only started sinking in, you know, at night when I was alone in the ward, that, you know, I actually lost a child. And, you know, with the DC procedure, you actually feel after it's completed that, you know, there was life. If you have had a child before, you will know what it's like to be pregnant, and you will know what it's like when the child is out of your womb. And I felt that. I felt life, you know, and the feelings of guilt, of disappointment, of anger. Like I was just so overwhelmed with a lot of emotions, because I felt like maybe if I knew, had I known, I would have done certain things differently. I would have eaten differently. I would have be more cautious, you know. But it had happened.
When you lost the baby?
Um, I was around two. It was still on the first trimester, around 2 months.
Sure.
Yeah, six to seven weeks. Yeah.
And you went off social media and you just cut yourself off for a little bit. Did that help you?
I did. Well, in a way it did, because I was still going through the emotions of dealing with I was still very confused of what had happened, and it had started dawning on me that, you know what, there was life that I should have protected, that I could have protected had I known of it. And even in the family, even in the house, we um just going through those, that emotional turmoil on our own, and I guess even talking about it and people asking, and you being away, and people knowing what has happened, you know, it just made everything so real. Like you feel that, you know, there was life and it's no longer there, and you have to deal with the pain that comes with all that, the shame that comes with all that sometimes. Yeah.
Did you blame yourself?
I did. I felt like I had been pregnant before. I already had a first child. I should have known. I should have read the signs, and read between the lines. You know, I remember that I in recent, like weeks before, prior to that, I was feeling very tired more than anything else, because I was still working. I was just feeling exhausted, like very, very, very tired. But I really did not put much effort into it. I just thought, it's the second semester of the year. You know, I'm studying, I'm working, and it's my baby at home when I get home. So I just thought that because of all these roles that I had to juggle, maybe I just need a little bit of a break, you know, go for a holiday or something like that. And it was far more than that I had anticipated.
And did the miscarriage put a strain? Did it affect your relationship with your husband? And if so, how?
Not really, not really. My husband was really, really supportive. But I don't think it's okay. Maybe it did because I sometimes felt like he didn't really connect and understand the pain that I was going through that much. Through his words, he had said, "You know what? I'm with you. I understand your pain, and I'm going to be there for you. But I don't think that I have as much connection with what you're feeling. Um, I did not even know that you were pregnant. Do you know what I mean? And so uh, maybe I did not even have the excitement of us having another baby or the possibility of me becoming a father again. So for him it was that, and maybe sometimes I felt that disconnection, that he's not really coming very, very close as much as I need him to, because he could not understand what I was feeling. But we really worked through it, and with counseling as well, we were able to move forward from
Wow.
that. But it came with a lot of emotional turmoil, like I said, and and pain, a lot of pain that one had to deal with as well. Physically, psychologically, spiritually, I felt like, if God is so sovereign and I'm his child, why couldn't he protect this child? If anything was going to happen that would hurt me, right? Um, I had, after miscarriage, I remember I had a lot of complications. My body was just sore. I developed fibroids quickly after that. I was constantly, it was just not a very pleasant experience to go through.
And were you angry at God?
Um, yes, I think I was. I was, because, like I said, I felt like it's way too powerful to have not saved this child, or to have protected me, or just to prove to me that he is God, even beyond pain, beyond the possibility of me losing a child. I just felt like he should have proved his power, you know for all the time that I have been saving. I guess some righteousness was coming through and pounding in my head, in my spirit, in my heart. I just felt like he should have been on my side.
So you had served him long enough and you deserved
Long enough for him.
you
Absolutely.
deserved him to
Absolutely.
come through for you, because you'd been serving him for
Absolutely.
years and you'd lived uprightly and righteously, you'd prayed, you'd done everything right, and you felt like he was supposed to step in and save your baby, sort of as repayment in a way for all that you for him
True.
and
True.
for your Christian walk. And so go through situations, others pray more and others completely stop praying. What did
Mm.
you do?
Well, for me, um, I could not pray. But I really had like open conversations with God. Even now, that's the kind of relationship that I have, because He is our Father, right? So I just go openly to Him that, I'm hurt, and and you're going to have to fix this. You're going to have to fix my heart. You're going to have to help me walk through this journey, because I believe that we go through things for a reason, and maybe right now I needed to be sharing this story for somebody else, to receive their healing and to know that it's not their fault if they happen to have a situation or going through the situation that is most similarly to what I've been through.
And how and why did you and your husband for counseling?
Well, it was mostly to support me, to get professional help through the process of grieving, and to understand that this is something that could have happened either earlier or late in the pregnancy. Do you know what I mean? But still, it does not take away that it's a painful journey to go through. It's a painful process for a woman to experience, or for any other individual, even a guy who is going to be a parent, because the gift of a child, it is something that is so precious. We should be so grateful for, because not everybody can have a child, even if they want to, yeah. So it was really for me to get through those, be okay. So he was there for me, supporting me through that, and he also got to get closure and heal as well in his own way.
And in hindsight, do you think you understand why you had to go through that?
I honestly don't. But grateful that it does no longer hurt me as much as it used to. I don't know, maybe just because I got comforted by the fact that God has blessed me with a daughter right now. But I will be honest with you, there's still that void. I still remember that I was once pregnant, and that date is the 5th of August, is a reminder that it could have been a girl, it could have been a boy, I don't know. I'll always want, you know what I mean? I can never forget that I carried a child during that time.
And did that situation bring you closer or further away from your husband?
No, it absolutely brought us together. Like I said, he's always been very supportive during that time, and even afterwards, when I was going through the process of fibroids and having to go to the gynae, and her confirming that, you know what, your ovaries are actually shrinkage. So if you still have the desire to extend your family, this is the opportunity, because after this, if you leave this to a very late stage, then you might experience problem trying to conceive. So that was one of the reasons that made us to go ahead, trying for another baby, so that we don't have to go through that painful, emotional struggle again of possibly not being able to conceive. And it was a bit of a challenge in the beginning, because I remember I in a month like 3 times, not getting a positive response, and it really, really, really wrecked me, because I thought maybe that the miscarriage has really caused a lot of problems, but God is faithful.
God is
Um,
faithful.
yeah, God is faithful. It eventually happened, and she is what, 1 year, 7 months now. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. I remember getting a message from an unknown number. Kanti, it's my virtual friend's baby shower invitation that I couldn't
Oh
attend.
my God, I don't even know about that.
I'm sorry I couldn't attend, but I was very honored. I did get the invite. I qualified as a
Oh, okay.
virtual friend. And speaking of friends and family, how did your family take the news, or how did they react? Were they supportive in the situation? Did they understand, or did they feel like I man Choko wa overreact? Akere o sale monyane man, o sa tlo etsa o mong kane keng?
Well, the family was very, very, very supportive, obviously. Um, my mom was broken, Shane. She was really broken. And she keeps saying you would have had twins. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm a twin, by the way.
Yes, I
So I
know.
think she just wanted one of us. I've got two sisters. I'm a twin, and we've got an older sister. And all of us have 2 kids each. So I was like, no, no, I didn't want twins, but it would have been nice to have a child. I didn't want to lose one, but I didn't want twins either.
How does it feel having
Yeah.
a twin
So,
sister
but with
though?
friends, it's cool. It's cool. Um, we're besties. We fight a lot, but we also have a lot of love for each other. We are best friends. We have each other's back at all times, I must say. Well, there were those who understood, especially those who have experienced a process of going through miscarriage. But I think the most hurtful and annoying one is when people would ask, how far along were you in this pregnancy? And if you tell them, they would say, well, at least when you didn't have much connection. I'm like, no, you don't understand what you're talking about. You can't even say that, because there was life. There was life inside of me, and now that it's not there, I can feel it. So you can't just assume that it was not a few human being that was already developed, that I can just dismiss it off. It's not like that.
And tell me, speaking about life, let's talk about your dad. Tell me about your dad and your relationship.
Oh, my dad. My dad was awesome. Was awesome. I was a daddy's girl. I was a definite daddy's girl. We had such a good relationship. My dad used to spoil me rotten. He was the kind of person that would carry my bag when I walk with him.
Sure.
Yes, he opened doors for me wherever we went.
The gentleman.
He was very protective, very, very of note, I tell you. Papa unatsamaya le ka phafa bathong in his
Sure.
jacket, you know.
Sure.
If we walking with him and he just realizes boys that I as because we normally would walk together with him with my twin sister. He would just whip it out and be like, hey, you know.
Ke a bolaya.
But he was, yeah. He was very strict, but very, very, very loving. And I miss that a lot about him. I really do. He was He was very, very, very sweet.
He
Yeah.
sounds like he was really an amazing man. Tell me about
It was.
that day when you got the news of his passing. What were the emotions that you were going through? How did you find out? Just walk me through that day.
Mm. Okay. So it was. I had spoken. I had last spoken to him on Thursday, right? And I was excited. That I had started healing. It was just after the baby, so I was like, I'm coming home next week. You will finally meet your granddaughter. She was starting to make sounds like, yeah, over the phone when we were talking. He would hear her making sounds, and he would get so excited by that. So he was really, really looking forward to meeting her the following week. That was Sunday. I got a call from my cousin, um, and around 9 o'clock, and he was like, "I'm looking for your dad." I was with him yesterday. Um, he's supposed to go with me. Re lo patala magadi. Nkile wa nwa nkapa as malume. So I'm a bit concerned because he's been very quiet. I've been trying to call him, and my dad was a person who was very, very punctual. Like, he respected time. He worked for a law firm for like almost 38 years. So he was like very, very, very punctual. And so he was trying to get hold of him, obviously, in that morning, and he couldn't. So he was asking me if I had him on Sunday, because I checked him a lot. We spoke on different days, but Sunday was a definite, that we have to recap. So I called him. I started calling hold of him, but I don't think you should panic. He normally goes to the store, one of the soon he'll be back in the house, and he will get back to you and me, because I've left on his phone as well. Okay, cool. An hour passed, 1.5 hour. I checked with my cousin. Any news, any feedback? Nothing. Okay. Like, I just give it an hour or so, because they were supposed to meet at 12. Nothing, still around 11 o'clock. And I was like, okay, I started getting worried. I started calling, and I called his friend, I called neighbors around to check if maybe the gate is still locked or something, and they confirmed that the gate is locked. And I asked if it's locked from outside or from inside, with a locker. It was like, it's locked from outside, and it doesn't look like there's anybody in the house. I said, if it's locked from inside, that means he could have been inside. I just had a very unsettled feeling, that something could have happened. I asked my cousin to go and maybe jump in and try to knock, just walk around and check the windows. He did, and then he came back. And after 12 o'clock, I asked him to break one of the windows, which he was very skeptical on doing. He left. He went to my aunt's place to find out if he knows about my dad's whereabouts. After about an hour or so, I just like I started like feeling very sick in my stomach. I was like, you know what? I think something has happened. I called the police. I called my mom because my parents are divorced. My mom is in Kronstadt. My dad is in Bloemfontein. So my mom was like, no, call the police and ask them to break in because I don't trust that he could have just disappeared like that. Maybe something has happened. So I called the police and asked them, please. I told them he's very advanced in age. I'm scared that something could have happened. You know, can you please go and break in? I'll be on my way tomorrow morning. If anything, you know, like no, the lady that I spoke to, she was be doing that anymore. We are no longer allowed to break into people's, so they tend to come back and want to sue the police and for breaking into their house and stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm giving you permission because this is somebody who's quite senior and I'm coming home. So whatever, if it's a window that has been broken or a door, I will replace it. I'm coming home. I'm on my way. She was like, okay, we'll see what we can do. We don't have vehicles that are readily available at the moment. So whenever this, so you can imagine my frustration at the time, my panic at the time. My heart was just literally beating out of my chest. Okay, I had to wait patiently, going crazy, praying like I was going mad, literally. And later on, we went out with my husband to go get something to eat because I could not focus, I could not cook, I could not do anything, and he was just, I think, trying to calm me down and distract me with going to get something to eat. On our, just as we were parking in the garage, we got a call. So, but prior to that, as I was talking to that lady, I asked her, can I give somebody else's number? So that whatever that you find, you speak to them. Because I just, yeah, I don't want to use, you know. She was like, no. Do you want us to help you or not? It's either you or nobody else. I was like, okay, you can call me back. Okay, when she did, I could hear, like, because she had connected the calls, I could hear people talking. There's people outside, so neighbors, and I could also hear if it's ambulance or it's the police only, but nonetheless, she had connected the calls between myself, her, and the person who was at the scene, and the police that were at the scene. And she's like, okay, just hold on. She's talking to me now. Just hold on. They just want to confirm something. My God. I was like, I did not die at that moment, Melo. I don't know. I could not breathe for a moment. I was like, oh, can you please try to confirm? Like let them confirm first, because like I just wanted her to say something different, you know. Begging her to just please confirm first, just say something different, because sure. And she's like, yeah, I got Choko face. Is there anybody who can who's going to identify the body? Just oh, like, at the time I'm a mess. I'm already crying. This woman is not giving me time to breathe, like to process what she's saying.
Sure.
And she's just getting rude, telling me that
Oh,
you, what did she say? She said, "You're wasting my time."
oh
She said, "You're
man.
wasting my time. I'm at work. I have other things to do. There's other people that have similar cases. Can you just give me who's going, the number of, or confirm who's going to identify?"
Oh,
Fortunately, at the time, my cousin had just arrived. So, um, and I'm begging her because she was threatening to if I can't. She actually said they would speak. They will just take the body to the government mortuary. Yeah. So my cousin was already there, and my husband was trying to get hold of him on the other call, on the other phone, home and be the one who comes first, the body. And yeah, that's how I found out about my dad. And after I gave her my cousin's number, she just hanged up the phone like that.
my God, that is traumatic. I'm getting so emotional because I'm just putting myself in your shoes, just imagining what you were going through, because I also have such an amazing relationship with my dad. I love him, and my parents are also divorced, and I'm just imagining him one and a police
Um,
officer being so heartless on the other side of the line, knowing that you
true.
are miles away, you cannot even be there.
I can't. I know. It was, I always say that I don't even know till this day. I don't know what is most hurtful. Is it the way that he passed on? Or is it the way that I found out? Or is it the fact that I don't know, it's not present, or like
But
it's
what did
such
the
a
police
traumatic
find?
experience that what was
What did the police find? So eventually, police went to the house, they broke the door, and what did they find?
they found him in the bedroom, on the floor. So apparently he had a heart attack.
Sure. And he was alone.
Yeah,
And do they know how
he was
long?
alone.
Do they know when exactly he had had the heart attack and how long he had he had passed before he was found?
They said about 3 hours when they found him. I didn't
Sure.
even want to know that information, honestly,
Mm,
because it made me so upset. It made me so
mm,
hurt that I had asked for help much earlier, and I believe that had had the people that I spoke to responded at the time, he could have probably been saved. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
But
mm,
I don't even want to hurt myself about that,
mm,
because I'm hurt enough. I'm
mm,
angry at enough, and even feel guilty enough that I cannot put this on anybody else. I feel like
mm,
I should have been the one who was there.
mm,
I I'm the one who's asking myself whether was he in pain?
mm,
Um, did he need help? Was he trying to get help?
mm,
Was his eyes open? Who closed them? Like I feel like
mm,
I should have been the one who
mm.
was there to see him through, if anything,
And
if
how did you
anything.
how did you navigate through that pain and that anger and that guilt to finally?
I am far. I'm still a long way to saying that I'm
Mm,
finding heal or I'm healing or I'm healed.
mm,
Um, I am still going through the grieving process. These days are not the same. There's days where I feel like I'm making progress. There's days where I just wake up feeling like a mess, where I still cry uncontrollably, literally. Till this day, I still cry. Those tears, I still have a lot of questions in my head that this, in a better way. I know that this is a day that would come for each and every family, for every person. I did not expect my father to live forever, but I felt like, again, God could have protected us, could have made this in a much better way. I feel like He could have prepared us. I actually envy people who look at their parents in their deathbed, who take care of them when they're very, very sick, to a point where they do not speak anymore for days, for weeks. Do you know what I mean? I thought that we would have that opportunity. I had prayed for that since I was a child, since I was 7 years old, going to Sunday school, hearing our teachers telling us that God can do everything. He can literally do everything if you believe and you ask Him. I have prayed those prayers. Since then, I've prayed those. I remember the days when my parents separated, whilst they were still young. My mom was still in his 30s, and I would sometimes hear them, having arguments regarding mental, and I would just run to the bathroom and pray that, God, I strongly believe that you will help them to come together one day, that we will stay together and have a family like my cousins have, have a home that is our own with our parents. And I've prayed that forever. Even now, as a mother, as a wife, I was still praying the same prayer. I was still praying that pretty soon I will take my father to the United States and we watch a soccer match together. I believed that some of those things would do happen. I believed that he would live much longer. I don't know. None of us is 40 years and we don't have a father.
So
I thought that we would have that moment where he's at the hospital and we can hold his hand and have a prayer and release his spirit, and accept, even if we had seen him talking and having hope that, okay, he's coming back, he's recovering, and an hour later we are called, we received the news that he did not make it, I would have been, I don't know, I would have known that we saw him.
The day is coming. So you kind of wanted to be eased into it, and it just happened so abruptly and so unexpectedly. And you kind of wanted it to be a process where, like, you have this hope that he will recover, but at the same time, that worst case scenario, he's leaving. But just like that, it happened so abruptly. And I mean, but that is life. Neither of us know the hour or the day, but we all know that it's coming, and so you are still on your journey and your path of healing. You have not yet completely healed. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And Melo, this is a difficult one. I like I said, I still wonder what has happened. Like, I feel like I have conversations that are so open with, and thank God for Corona and the masks that we have, that I can just, be crying as I walk, as I talk with him, behind the mask, that what have you done? How could you have done it this way? How did you expect us to live past this trauma? When is it going to get better? Do you know what I mean?
And what is this pain teaching
so
you? What
This
are
pain
you?
has taught me. This pain has taught me to take other people's pain to heart. I
Sure.
realized that I did
Mm,
not understand what people were going through when
sure.
we simply just, send those messages of condolences without your heart in it, without even
Mm,
praying,
mm,
you know.
mm,
Um, right now, when somebody says, my mom has passed or my dad has passed,
mm,
I cry with them.
mm,
I feel
mm,
their pain.
mm,
I know deeply what they're going through, and I take that for granted. Like I literally get into their shoes and walk with them each and every step. I remember because I always, I not always, but I still wake up to days where um I relive the funeral day. I relive um the process, the entire week of the
mm,
preparations. Like I said, none of us, we don't even come from a very big family where we have a lot of adults.
mm,
My parents were divorced, so that means we had daughters had to run with everything. So we were chief mourners, we were people who were preparing,
chief
we
organizers.
we were we were organizing, we were, all of that. So there was not even time for us to process what has happened, because we had to, as soon as that happened, we had to hit the ground running, literally.
Mm,
When we get home, um it was just preparations, meetings. So what are we doing? What are we doing tomorrow? It was just those preparations, going to the parlor and choosing a box,
and just all the behind the scenes,
like
all the behind the scenes.
all the details, taking the clothes. Um, on Friday, I was driving, going to get him, looking at him there, quiet, like deeply, like very, very quiet, so deeply, so deep in his sleep that it was so shocking to a system that how can you be so quiet? Why are you this quiet? We were talking just the other day, and the weekend that we were supposed to meet was the weekend that I see him lying, deep in
Mm,
his sleep, never to talk to me ever again, never to
mm,
touch him ever again, never to hear from him ever again. I was running around. My daughter was 2 months at the time. I was going everywhere with her because I was breastfeeding.
mm,
Like I at some point I could not even, because I was just not okay. I was not even eating well. I was not producing enough milk.
mm,
You know, she was there every step of the way. When we go to see and view the body, I was just carrying her everywhere.
mm, mm.
Uh,
And I
it
love
was hard.
I love when you say that it has taught you, to empathize with others, because I think as a society, we've lost that. We normally say, how are you? If somebody says, I'm not so okay, we say, okay, I'm praying with you. And we normally don't even pray with that person. We give them
Mm,
words of
mm.
encouragement and motivation. And in a split second, we've even forgotten about them, because we are all
You've
facing
forgotten completely.
problems, but also what I'm
Yeah.
realizing is during this time of lockdown and COVID, we are all going through something. We are all experiencing loss in one way or another, and it is helping us
Yeah.
to empathize with others. I cannot
Mm.
exactly understand what you went through, because I cannot imagine losing a father, losing a child, lost family members, and I feel your pain. And it brings me to my next question. What is more painful, losing a father or losing a child?
Um, like I said, I felt sense of responsibility in both these losses, because the child was in me, and even though that I did not know, my body was already preparing me to becoming a mother. And I guess the dynamics are a little bit different with my father, because I know him. I have been his child,
Your
forever.
whole life.
And we had such a good relationship my whole life. I know him, when I wanted to talk to him, I could dial his number and get hold of him. If I wanted to see him, I could get into my car and go home, or he would come here, so
So they're both
honestly,
painful differently.
pain is pain, and pain is pain. Loss is loss, and it's painful either way. And it just leaves you broken, and you just have to find a way of sort of living with that brokenness, with that of some sort, because that something that used to bring life in a way is taken away from you, and you suddenly have to find a way of living without it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not an easy one, but I believe that with each and every day, God is helping me to find
heal.
closure, to find healing, I really look at people that are going through losses of their loved ones through Corona. I think it's such a traumatic experience, because there is so much that isolation that happens for them, even with their very loved one, that they want to stand. They hope to stand next to the box and look at them for the longest of time, an opportunity that I could say I had, and they can't. They can't, because of the restrictions that this pandemic requires us to live under. Do you know what I mean?
So
it's a tough one. It's a tough one, because sorry, even your loved ones, even family members, your friends, your colleagues cannot come close to you and give you a hug. Do you know what I mean? At least we had that comfort of the community coming around and saying, because Papa inele Papa batho botlhe, ko gae. He related so well with a lot of people, and they was just as shocked as we were, because they saw him. Some of them were saying, I saw him, I met him yesterday at ShopRite. We met at the store. So I could not understand when we were told that he passed on the following day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
You spoke about the feelings of guilt and pain and brokenness that you felt after your losses. Do you think that since those times or those moments took place, there has been at least a little bit of progress in your journey of healing? Because I know you say that sometimes you progress and then you regress. Every day is different, but do you see progress in terms of healing and dealing with these feelings and emotions?
I am able to sing again. I'm able to worship, and therefore I believe that that is progress. That is a sign of healing right there, because I could not. Sure. After it, with losing a child, I quickly gathered strength and was distracted by work, because I had to go back to work, and I forced to continue serving. I did not want this to silence the worship and the voice.
Sure.
That that is inside of me. But with my dad,
Mm.
like I found, like I was angry. I was disappointed. I felt so betrayed. I felt so betrayed with God that he could have allowed this to happen in such a traumatic way. Do you know what I mean? I could not sing. I could not sing. I avoided singing. I could not honor invitations of performing. I could not serve properly, even at church. Like I just could not open. I could not understand, why should I sing? Who should I sing to? How do I say worship? How do I tell this God that He's worthy of all the praise and that He's good, that He's powerful, when He could not display this power for me, you know?
And save Baba.
I just could not. I could not. I could not. And I remember very
But
vividly,
we are so grateful.
As with times when I would be praying and he put it in my heart that I should have a concert. I should go ahead and do a concert of healing. And I told my husband about this, that, I feel like God is saying that I should have a concert of healing, because I've been getting a lot of requests at church to do something that is a gospel show or something, a project that is gospel related. And I felt like I don't feel like I'm ready for that as yet. But it will eventually come, because it's part of who I am. A large part of who I am. It all started at church. So, but I did not think that it would be prompted by pain that of losing my dad, and the message really behind the healing concert that I had last year was just around that, and realizing, just how much people are hating. I may have gone through losing my dad, losing my child, but other people have lost their jobs. Other people were losing their marriages. Other people were just going through painful divorces and all that, So I thought we all have sort of brokenness that we go through as individuals. My story may be different from yours, but there's definitely some things that would pull you to the altar, to the cross, to the feet of the cross, where you can lay all that brokenness to. So that was really just the inspiration behind that concept.
I'm so glad. I think all your fans are very glad that you found your way back to the feet of God, to the altar, that you found your voice back, that you found your inspiration, because definitely when people go through pain, others are so positive and they write about what they're going through, but others just get a mental block, a creative block, and they just black out and they don't want to be creative. They don't want to sing or use their gift. But we are so glad that you found your amazing anointed voice. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I hope that your story of loss will bring hope and healing to those who are watching and those who are listening. May you continue sharing your story. You are such an amazing, strong, inspirational woman. I can through all and are still standing and are still able to worship God. We've come to the last segment of our conversation. I'm just going to ask you 5 questions. We are out of time. Uncle Cyril wants to talk to us. I don't know. I don't know what he wants to say to us, but we need to wrap this up so that we can go and hear what he has to say. So if you can
Cool.
just answer these 5 questions as quickly as you can. Gospel or soul?
Both.
Favorite,
Both.
favorite car?
X6 BMW.
Favorite Bible verse?
1 Peter 5, verse 7. And I think 9 and 10. I'm sorry.
Is that cast all your burdens? No. Which one is it?
No.
What does it say?
1 Peter's let me, because there's a version that I want to read. First Peter. Sorry, dear. I don't want
Mosotho o mo
misquoted
jwetsa hore
here.
let's wrap it up re fetse taba ena. O sa batla ho bula di-verse.
Wow, Shebatung.
Ha o hle manyose.
Askis.
You
I promise you.
don't
Okay, 5:10 says, and the God of all grace, who calls you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Chicken or beef?
Chicken is light.
What are you
And I'm
afraid
trying
of?
to look good. Dogs?
What
Animals.
animals?
In general.
Diphologolo.
Dogs. Animals, Nje. I'm not friends with animals at all. I like.
What do you know for sure?
What do I know for sure? That God loves me.
That God loves you. Wonderful. Before we go, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I just want you to say to our viewers, be great, for if not you, then who?
Be great. If not you, then who?
Thank you so much, Choko. And those who've been tuning in, before we wrap it up, I was watching Somizi's cooking show, and at the end of his show, he talks and gives a little bit of motivation and inspiration. And he was talking about how some of his friends that he's always been there for did not want to be there for him and come through for his show. And he started saying, first he was angry and disappointed that, hey, man, I'm always there for you, how? Why can't you be there for me? And then it hit him, nobody gives you anything. So I'd like to say to you as well, no anything. When you do anything, plant it as a seed. Let God be the one who waters that and pay you for whatever good that you are doing. Remember that nobody owes you anything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week as we chat to somebody amazing. My name is Melom Tetwa. You have been watching Be Great with Melom Tetwa. Be great, for if not you, then who? Bye, darling. Bye. Bye, Choko.
Bye.